So this video just shows you how to fix the popcorn hour C200 power supply. You're going to need a couple of different screwdrivers, 3 different screwdrivers in fact. You're going to need a large Phillips style screwdriver. You're going to need a fine tip Phillips screwdriver. And you're going to need a sort of smaller flathead. Let's start by looking at repairing or checking the fuse on the back of the power supply. So the power supply has a fuse. What we want to do is get that screwdriver in there. There's a little lip just in the back here. And we just want to leverage off that, and that will pop out the fuse cage. Pull out our fuse cage and check to see our fuse is intact. And if our fuse is intact like that, then there's no problem. Power flows and power will work. If the fuse wire is broken, you need to replace that with the appropriate 2.5 amp 110 volt 250 kV fuse. You need to pop a new fuse into this little plastic cage, which is easy enough to do. Just pops in and out like that. And then restore it to the unit. It goes back in this way. So we'll just plop it back into place and push it down, and a good hard press. Click it goes. Okay, if we're going to be opening the unit up, you want to take your power cable, which should have a third prong on it. That's your earth prong, this bottom one. You want to take that and make sure it's plugged into the wall but turned off. That will supply earth but no power. It should be plugged into the wall and turned off. That way any static discharge you've got will dissipate. Plug that into place. Take the finer Phillips screwdriver. Locate this screw at the back here. Undo that. Pop it open. Pinch and squeeze with your thumb. Thumb on here, hand on top, and the whole unit slides off the back. Pop it open. Focus to sort itself out. Alright, so power supply. That's this thing here. Main board. That's this thing here. That's your processor with a static heatsink on it. That's a data cable that just clips on and off, and it's got a little keyed connector. See how it's got a specific shape, little L shape. There's an L shape on here. It only goes on one way, and it goes on with a little press. It's not too much effort. This data cable again connects into the back of this, which, like the other side of it, is keyed. So it only goes one way. You can't put it on the wrong way around. So the data should be this side. It should just, it's be stiff, but it should just slide on easily enough. So this is actually a little cage that allows you to plug a hard drive into the unit, and then when the drive comes in it gets power and data. That's wired into your power supply. And then the main board is wired into the power supply too, with this Molex connector here. Now this Molex connector, again, like everything, is keyed. If you push your thumb onto that and pull up on it, it'll clear. Because as you push your thumb down, that comes up. Goes back on that way. And you can see the little lug here that clips over the top of. So when you put it back on, it should clip in nice and firm. It shouldn't be loose at all. So there's 2 power leads that come out of the power supply. Down the back we also have an earth lead, and we have the actual power connector that comes out of these power points here, which are all part of this whole fuse unit contraption. So there's a screw, and you can get to that one by just passing the screwdriver straight through there. See that? Put it through this piece of case and we can get the screw. There's a screw here, there's a screw here, which holds the earth, and there was a screw there but I didn't bother with it, it was too fiddly. So, just got to undo this screw back here. Undo this screw here. Undo your earth lead. Pull that to one side. And at this point, the whole power supply should just lift up and come out, apart from this one connector back here. And again, you just push on the back of that, push and pull, and that will unclip and come loose. There you go. There is the complete power supply removed. And if we have a look, we're left in the case with the earth screw, the actual power point. Check these, make sure none of these at the back are loose. This should never be loose. Got your 4 mount points it screws into. Another ball point. Now we're just going to do the reverse of that. Take your power supply. I suggest you put your screw in at this corner here, all ready to go. Put it into position. Take your power connector and reconnect it. Click. Nice and firm. Swing it into position. It's quite tight for the fingers, but that's alright. Not too bad. Worked on worse. Pop that out because it's meant to be on top. With the screw, jiggle it into relative position, just sort of roughly position it. You notice these screw holes aren't exact, so you want to get that one lined up. Find your other screw. Put a magnetic screwdriver. I apologise for the sound of me sucking on a lolly. I got a cold. And I will position that screw. Move the unit across, get that one screw to grab a little bit. Then get your next screw down here to grab a little bit. Got everything picking up. Come back here. Place that into position. This earth is very important for safety. Make sure it's on. And again, this stuff has to be tight. It doesn't have to be nuclear. Like you're not, securing the planet off of it. You don't over tighten it. And that's nice and firm. So check. Power, check. Earth, check. Other 2 screws, check. Give it the wiggle test. All good. Take your mainboard Molex power connector and connect it. Click. Take your SATA data power combo, push that back into position. Take your SATA lead, plug it back onto a SATA connector. Click. That's it. We checked the fuse. We've replaced the power supply. At this point, given you're using HDMI for audio and video and Ethernet for network, I would plug these in and I would turn the unit on and make sure something works. There's nothing more frustrating than putting everything back together and then discovering it doesn't work. So we'll assume we've used our Ethernet and our HDMI and we've got our signals. This is the radio frequency remote aerial. Take our case and we'll see that the little tags are placed into their little slots. and the whole thing just slides forward, and you just pull on it like that with the back of your hand, and then you take your little screw that you pulled apart before. I'm doing most of this one-handed because I've been holding the camera the whole time. And I can say, job done. We never touched the switch here, didn't need to. This was off the whole time. We had that open and we're using it, so be safe with that. If you've got it open, you're testing it, don't put your hand in there. This is live power. These are all your component and audio outs. So those are video outs there, and those are audio outs. You don't use those. We don't use this video these days. Ethernet carries our network signal. USB, plug a USB drive in. Coax and optical for SPDIF, digital audio. Infrared, not using HDMI. So it's HDMI for video and audio. Ethernet. Alright, thank you. Good luck.